Welcome back, guys, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, along with the Terrible Towel. Now, guys, I have to start this one by saying, what a heart-wrenching, heartbreaking, crushing loss against the Bengals. I mean, this was such a bad loss. Of course, I'm going to get into the reasons why. More importantly, I was at the game. I was at Heinz Field, and I felt the energy of the crowd and the high points and the low points. And it just, when you're at the game and you can physically feel the emotion shift, it's just a heartbreaking loss. And let's get into the obvious reasons why. First and foremost, guys, Le'Veon Bell. Let's talk about that before we really dissect the game. Crushing loss, guys. Crushing loss. We haven't had our offensive weapons as a whole playing together for not that long this season. And now, here you're seeing it once again. We're going to be out another starter. Le'Veon Bell, probably one of the most important, if not the most important player to that offense. He's gone. That is a horrific injury as far as, what it does for our effort. And like I said, man, to feel the emotion shift when that happened. And it's crazy. Like, ironically, you guys, you can check it out here on the channel. I didn't even realize I had that play recorded. As I was at the game, I'm recording random plays just for archives and things like that. And I actually have that exact play recorded, which I have it up here on the channel. Just crazy, man. Unbelievable, unbelievable. Le'Veon, prayers go out to you, man. Hopefully you will rebound. I'm pretty confident that you will. Get well, rest yourself, and I hope you have minimal pain, man, if that's even possible. Now let's talk about the game. So Big Ben comes back. We're all happy about that. And I'm not going to say that, I'm not going to beat up Big Ben here in my segment, but we could arguably say Big Ben is the reason why we lost the game. He's the reason why we lost the game. Those turnovers killed us. That one turnover on the sideline where he forces trying to make a play is one of these things. Everyone was ready to yell at him and scream at him, including myself. But we have to remember, that is Big Ben. That's how he plays. He has made plays like that numerous times. The Houdini tricks. So if he hits Will Johnson on that play, then we're calling him a genius. We're calling him a musician. But the fact that he forced it, the defensive guy made a great play, picks it off, and that just started all the spiraling down. That was it. That was the beginning of the end for our win that we should have gotten. The defense played outstanding. And I say the win that we should have gotten only because it was late in the game. It's not like, I'm going to sit here and act like we dominated the game. It was only 10-6. But it was late in the game. We put a few drives together, a few first downs, keep the drive going. The game is over. And that's why I say we should have won that game. We played Cincinnati very well. The defense played lights out. They held Andy Dalton in that offense under 300 total yards. Now, A.J. Green did his thing, primarily because he was lined up a lot against Antoine Blake. And Antoine Blake, of course, can't match up with stature. Giving him a lot of cushion, that's going to happen. That's A.J. Green. Much like when Antonio Brown faces guys, he's going to get his numbers. But at the end of the day, Antoine Blake comes up with a beautiful interception. Great anticipation on the rub route, and that keeps him out of the end zone. Once again, the defense played lights out for the most part. They gave up some plays, yes, but we held them to 16 points. They didn't score a touchdown until late in the fourth quarter. We did the same thing against the Cardinals. And you hear me complain about the defense. Like last week, I'm complaining about them. Against the Chiefs, they're very up and down. But I think if we can play a solid defensive effort like we played Sunday and 2 Sundays ago against the Cardinals, I think we can beat some teams in this league. Now, our efforts are definitely going to be hampered. You know, it's an uphill battle at this point. We're 4-4. Cincinnati is 7-0. The hopes of getting the AFC North is probably out of the door. It's probably gone. Out the window. And we got some tough opponents coming in. We got the Raiders coming in next week. And let's not forget, the Steelers have a bad habit of playing down to their competition. And I'm not taking anything away from the Raiders. They're looking like a promising team, up-and-coming team. But like I said, look at how we played the top-tier offenses this year. You know, the Cardinals came in, they were like the #1 offense in points. And then look at Cincinnati. They're in the top 3, top 5. And we shut those teams down. We hold them under 20 points. But what are we going to do against the Raiders? We let the Chiefs put up 23. You see what I mean? So the defense has to put it together 2 consecutive weeks, 2 to 3 consecutive weeks for me to really believe. But I think, man, at the end of the day, we have a Steelers team that's brewing to be a very solid team. A lot of these guys are young. They're re-gelling together. You know, there's a new system. We got our offense in place. You know, if we can keep guys healthy. You know, Bell is out, of course, this year, but D'Angelo Williams came in and did pretty well. D'Angelo Williams actually on that 55-yard run showed some speed. He actually might have showed a little more speed than Le'Veon. Now, I'm not saying he's a better back. Come on. Nobody's saying that. I'm just saying he gave us a little pop in that game. You know, a little more open field speed, which is something that we need. Now, we brought in Isaiah Peed, I think his last name is. I'm not sure if they pronounce it Peed or Pad. We'll see what this guy has to bring to the table. You know, he hasn't really done much in the league. You know, he is young, so that can help us out. And you guys know how it goes, man. Running backs can come from anywhere that are not big names. Look at Denver. Look at those running backs, you know, and Hillman and Anderson. And, you know, a running back can come out of nowhere. Look at Jonas Gray that year when he was with, last year with New England when Blunt was out or what have you. Or before Blunt was with us. This dude was running all over the place. So a running back can do certain things. They can be serviceable. So I think we'll be okay with D'Angelo Williams and whoever else is backing him up as far as allowing us to still run. But what we're missing is that element that Le'Veon brings. You know, you can see it in the game, the matchup problems that he causes. Even on the play where he got hurt, that was an 8-yard pickup and you saw why. Linebacker couldn't stay with him on a simple out. Couldn't stay with him. And that's the difference, you know, when you hear guys like myself say that Le'Veon Bell being out is going to be a huge blow because we don't have that dynamic X factor out of the backfield or the shiftiness that he brings. You know, D'Angelo Williams is a solid runner. Come on, he's a 1,000-yard rusher at Carolina, has a great career, but he is more of a north and south. He's not as shifty as Le'Veon, and sometimes Le'Veon has created lanes and created runs. So that's what, you know, you lose a lot with Le'Veon being out. But at the end of the day, we still got tremendous weapons on the outside and the receiving core. And Heath Miller had a huge day. Now, last thing I would say about Ben, I think he tweaked that knee. I think it was in the second quarter. Geno Atkins hit him. Might have been the first quarter. But I remember looking down and I saw him bent over for a moment. And somebody came and talked to him. Then he popped up. Then on the sideline, he was sitting by himself. No trainers was really around him. But I think Ben may have tweaked the knee a little bit. And that could be the reason why some of those balls sailed. You know, it sailed on him. And then that happens. If you know football, you know that definitely could affect your throw. If you're not fully stepping into the, you know, into your lead leg, to throw the ball. You know, but and then at the end of the day, it could have been a little bit of rust. But at the end of the day, man, I got to put it on Big Boy. You don't turn the ball over, we probably win the game. You know, even that last turnover is like to allow them to go up by 6 instead of just 3. When we got in field goal position, we at least could have probably tied the game. Now let's talk about a couple things that some people are questioning. The 52-yard kick attempt for Chris Boswell. You know, why didn't we kick there? In my opinion, that's iffy. You know, if the coach makes the right call and they make the kick, everybody's praising him. If he misses the kick, everyone's saying, oh, well, this is a tough place to kick. Everyone knows that the open end of the Steelers Stadium is not an easy place to kick. It was a little wind out there. I was at the game. You know, maybe they didn't want to chance it. Maybe they didn't want to chance a miss, and then Cincinnati gets the ball back at that spot. And at that time, we were winning the game, if I'm not mistaken. I think we were up. So the defense was playing well, so maybe the coaches felt like, you know, kick it away and let's go play some defense. They've been doing a good job. Also, the timeouts. Now, again, me personally, I probably would have went conventional. You know, conventional wisdom. I probably would have said, let's go ahead and call the timeouts in front of the 2-minute warning. Get the ball back, let Ben do his 2-minute drive. But I can't disagree with Tomlin's his opinion and his reasoning behind it. I can't disagree with that. You know, I understand what he was trying to do, because at the end of the day, he said he wanted to keep a timeout so they could work the middle of the field. Fine. I get all that. But I still think I probably would have taken the timeouts, take them all before the 2-minute warning. And you still got to consider this. We still got to see if we're going to stop Cincinnati. There's no guarantee that we stop them, even if we call the timeouts. And maybe that factored into the decision, because if we call timeouts early, maybe Cincinnati does a different play call. You know, maybe they start playing, you know, doing different plays and opening up the field a little more. You see what I mean? Like, you never know. You never know what would have happened. But I think everyone probably feel like you should have went the, you know, traditional route, called the timeouts before the 2-minute warning. But like I said, it's one of those things. If it goes right, we're praising them. If it goes wrong, you're saying it's the worst mistake in all of football. So it's, you know, as fans, sometimes we get emotional and we don't realize that these decisions are split decisions, and you got to trust in the coaches. It's just that simple. All right. So guys, like I said, man, just to wrap this up, I got to put it on Ben. This was a tough loss. It's hurt us badly in the AFC North race. And more importantly, it puts us at 4-4. We're out of the playoffs right now. The Raiders have taken that spot, and they're coming in to Pittsburgh. This makes it a huge game now. And listen, the Raiders are playing good ball. We got to play sound ball. We have to win that game. That's the bottom line. But, you know, 4-4 is not the worst. You know, you're looking at one of these scenarios. I try to look positive. 10-6 could possibly get you into the wild card. So you leave yourself a little bit of room. We could possibly lose 2 more games. But look at who all we got to play. We got Denver coming in. Like I said, we can't look past the Raiders. We got to play the Colts, which the Colts look a little shaky. But again, you never know, man. NFL is week to week. We got Cleveland twice. We got Cincinnati again. And then we also got the Ravens again. So this is not going to be an easy, easy task by any means. But I do feel like if the offense can get back clicking, even without Le'Veon, I think with the way the defense is playing, if they can start putting these games together consecutively, I think we can beat a lot of teams. And I'm not really afraid of the schedule. Oh, and Seattle. Let's not forget that. We got to go out to Seattle. Seattle, I'm going to say this real quick before I wrap up. Seattle doesn't scare me as far as offensively. They don't scare me. I think if we can put a good defensive effort together, I like our offensive chances against their defense versus their offensive chances against ours. Call me crazy, but I'm just looking at the numbers, just looking at the talent. Their offense doesn't scare me. Look at what Dallas was able to do. Held them to 13 points. They don't scare me. So we'll see. But all right, guys, that's going to do it. Definitely leave your thoughts, leave your comments, and it won't hurt you to hit the like button. All right, guys, until next time, let's get it. Here we go. And let me know what you think. Once again, guys, thanks for coming by. And if you want to interact with me live, head on over to Sim Standard Radio every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, along with Smitty and Azure Effect. The call-in number for the show is down in the description. Now, of course, for more content, go ahead and click the link above. And before you go, don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe.
All right, guys. Until next time, lights out.